Happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my page, Young at Heart Creations. I am Pam Savage, owner of Young at Heart Creations, and we are going to be painting on this little guy tonight. I let all of you vote if you wanted me to paint. I'm going to do double-sided. So I started a center on it and was thinking I'm going to do a sunflower, and then I thought, well, I'm going to let y'all vote. But I am going to do it double-sided. I will have a sunflower here. But you all voted that tonight you wanted to see a snowman face put on it. I could also do a snowman with some trees and things, but we're just going to do a simple snowman face tonight. And I have had a very busy day. Spent 2.5 hours at Walmart today. I haven't bought groceries in about a month. So that was quite an experience at Walmart for 2.5 hours and spent half of our month's income on groceries. 3 chicken breasts, $12. I just, every month, I'm just in total shock. And I don't know how you young people do it, how you young families do it. Hi, Kathy. If you're watching the replay, I would really appreciate it if you'll put that hashtag replay on there so I'll know that you watched, and say hello. And if this is your first time to catch me live, I would appreciate you saying, hey, I'm a newbie, or say hi to everyone. Please feel free to comment. And if you have a business page and you do videos that you would like for us to go and check out and look at and watch you paint, let us know. Just put it in the links there, or just put the name of it in the comments and we'll go find it. Let me get you pulled up over here on my iPad so I can hopefully see comments. There we are. And let me get rid of the sound. Okay. All right. I feel kind of crooked. I've got y'all where you can see it. I am right-handed, and usually I have it backwards so that it looks right for me. And it usually looks left-handed to you, but I've got it switched around. Hi, Susie. Hi, Teresa. So I've got it switched around, so I am doing it right-handed, but everything's backwards for me, so I feel a little a little weird. Okay, so I posted a picture of this when we were in Waco last week. I found it at an antique shop, and it's just a metal, I guess you would call it a planter. I'm not sure, but it could sit by a fireplace. I would, if it were mine, I would probably be hanging it on a wall, or maybe put it in the bathroom with some rolled up washcloths in it. I'm not sure. But my first thought was, okay, I've got to paint a sunflower on it. So I'd started the center of it, but you guys voted, was going to do a tubie, but you guys voted to put a snowman on this side. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I was debating between snowman or gingerbread man. So snowman won. I didn't even mention gingerbread man. But anyway, because I didn't want 2 winter sides, and I'd already started this one with the sunflower. So let's get started, and we're going to do a snowman. And hi, Patricia. Hello. Hello. And Miss Angela. Oh, good. Okay, we've got a few on here, so we're going to go ahead and get started. And I'm going to bring you down so you can see what's going on here. And hopefully I'll keep it in the camera. Somebody comment if I get off camera. So I've got, I just did a circle on here, and instead of trying to draw a circle, I just had some little dessert plates, and I cut the center out of it, and I just put it on here and took a marker and marked around it just to kind of give me a circle as a guideline on here. And I'm going to, because I think that white will be a little hard to cover in a couple of coats. So I'm going to put a light coat of gray, and it's Ceramcoat Drizzle Gray. So I'm just going to base coat it in a coat of that. And I wasn't even sure how this paint would adhere to this surface, but doing the center for that sunflower on the other side, it did really well. So I thought, well, I'm not even going to prime it with anything because it was holding really well. Just not using much water at all. My brush is a little damp. I'm using an angle brush, a 1/4 inch angle brush. Now this has been splattered. It was already that way, so might have a few little bumps here and there. And I did put a piece of cardboard underneath that over the top of my ceramic tiles that I use here because I knew that would be incredibly noisy and irritating. But Miss Roxy will be on here, I'm sure, in just a little bit. So I want all of you to see, that watch me all the time, to see if you can tell what's not here anymore, what's missing. So see if you can guess in the comments what is missing in my live tonight. We'll see if somebody can tell. We finally got some much needed rain. Everything's so refreshed, and it went from in the hundreds to high, just mid 80s. So we feel like we're having a cold front. And the plants loved it. I didn't have to water for 2 whole days. We just got back from our trip to Waco. We stayed in a hotel. We weren't sure exactly where it was located. Got there, and the hotel was literally across the street. You just had to step out the door, cross the street, and you were at the silos. So we went over there and just looked around to see what all was new since we had been there. And we were just about to leave, and we were kind of glancing at this one little shop that she has there on the grounds, and this lady was just about to go in the shop, and I looked at her, and instantly I told David, I said, "That's Joanna Gaines' mom. I know that's her. That's her mom." So I kind of looked at her and just grinned, and she grinned and went on in. And so I told David, I said, "That's got to be her." I said, "I'm going to go in. I'm going to check it out." So I went in, I walked around a minute. She was talking to someone. And as soon as she was finished talking, I just walked up to her and I said, and she was already grinning. And I said, "Are you Joanna's mom?" And she said, "Yes, I am." And I said, "Would you mind if I get a picture?" And she said, "No." And she was the sweetest thing. And y'all, I'm only 5 foot tall. She had on heels that were about maybe 2 inches at least. And she was still shorter than me. So without her shoes, she would have been probably, I don't know, not much above my shoulders, it seemed like. And tiny. She put her arm around me, around my waist, and so I put my arm around her waist. There was no waist. Tiniest little lady, the sweetest thing. Oh, she was so sweet. And just, now remember, when you're working with metal or tin, it gets really, really hot. So you want to let it kind of cool down a minute before you start putting that second coat on, and be careful to the touch. You don't want to burn yourself. But anyway, she was just a doll. Hi, Linda. Hi, Sheila. Hello, Mary. Susie. Oh, I'm glad you caught me too. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to go. We've got so much going on, y'all. We've got just busy schedule, and we don't even have any children at home. But we are just busy right now, and it's a busy time of the year for crafters, of course. And I'm going to put one more coat of this gray on there. Anyway, she just was visiting and asked where we were from, and she had stepped in the shop to check on a new display that they had done. And before I talked to her, she was just talking to the employees about how the display looked, and she was being so incredibly kind to them and joking with them and telling them how great it looked, and just, you know, thanking them, and just full of joy. Anyway, she was just sweet. So that was the highlight of the trip for me. Then we went out to the Heritage Village. If you watch Fixer Upper, you know Clint Harp. Clint Harp was the young man that made a lot of their furniture, their tables, and just about anything they needed of wood. He was the one they would go to, and he would make their furniture for them. He's got his own show now. I can't think of the name of it, but it's where they go up north, like New York, Pennsylvania, just all kinds of places, and find old barns that were built back in the 1800s, some of them even 1700s. And they tear them down and save every little stick of wood, nails, everything that they can save and use, and haul it somewhere else and rebuild it into some kind of a building. This one in Waco, just outside of Waco, but it's in the Heritage, I think it was called Heritage Park. I'm not sure, but they turned it into a restaurant. And then there's lots of little buildings that they're making. Like one's a leather shop, and one is a glass blowing shop, one's a pottery shop, and you can go in and make things. I guess you have to schedule. We didn't do it, of course, but oh, the building was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Gorgeous. All right, I didn't use all that paint, so I'm going to put some of it back in. I like to try to save it if I can. So Nancy Beeson's always on here, and when I was there, she found out, she asked me, she said, "You're in Waco?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "I'm in Waco. I live in Waco." So we tried to get together, but she had appointments and we were leaving at a certain time, and so we did not get together this trip. So next time we go down, we're going to do some planning and we'll get to meet Nancy. We just had the best trip, and everybody was so nice. And y'all, I was so impressed. Every restaurant we went to, without an exception, everyone we went to, the young people, the waitresses or waiter, when they got through, they said, "Well, y'all have a great rest of the weekend, and God bless you." These were young people saying, "God bless you." You know, I haven't heard that in a long time. But every facility that we went to, or business that we went to, they had young people, and they would say that. And I loved it. Mr. Pam is in a meeting. I kicked him out. He had a meeting anyway, a church meeting. He's an elder at our congregation, so they have a weekly meeting, at least one, usually more. But they were meeting tonight, so anyway, Mr. Pam is a fantastic, fantastic shopper. He loves to shop, loves to go into like flea market or antique stores, junk shops. He loves that. And so we just had the best time. Anyway, said all that to say, this is where I got this, in Waco at one of the shops, one of the stores. And I thought, I'm going to paint that. I think it was $12.95 for the piece. So we'll see if I'll get my money back out of it. I don't know, at the craft show. We'll see. Okay, so I've got a coat of gray on there. Just gray sky, not gray sky, Ceram coat. Gray, drizzle gray. Okay, so I'm going to take some white. Make sure it's cool enough. Definitely feels different than painting on wood. But I like to try different surfaces. Painting on fabric is completely different than, you know, any other surface I've ever done. I guess that's the most different. And glass. I've painted on a lot of old windows, so it is very different. And this, you just have to do a light coat and then let it dry good before you go trying to put another coat on it, or it definitely will wipe off. And it's slick. So you have to have a little more control of your brush. think once we get, it may take 3 coats of this white. I think it'll look okay. You could even sponge it on. That's what we've got so far. Kind of looks like a moon. Hi, Ashlyn. Hi, Jen. And the Southern Daisy. We've got Cindy Baker. Hey. Good to see everyone. I am about to get to the point because I have the craft show in 2 months. It's in November, and I don't have anything painted. So I'm about to get to the point where I'm going to throw something over my dining room table and just start batch painting like crazy to get some things made up. I can't do that yet because we have company coming Saturday for supper. Have some couples from church coming over. So I can't do that yet. Or hey, I should do it and have a paint party and tell them they have to work for their supper and let everybody, got a little bit of a ridge there. Tell them if they want dessert, they have to each base coat at least 2 pieces. That might help me get caught up. I may never have dinner guests again, but hey, a girl's got to do what a girl's got to do, right? Mr. Pam has been working so hard out back trying to get the patio area in front of our shed that we had built finished. He has been working so hard. Now the hair dryer I normally use has a cool down. You can put it on just cool air, but this little craft one doesn't. But again, I think this would be so cute in a bathroom with rolled up washcloths in it, or in a kitchen with utensils in it, or just hanging on a wall. So many different things you could do with it. They had a coffee pot that was in the blue and the white, and it was $13 also, and I almost got it. But I wasn't sure how the surface was going to paint because I've never painted on this before. And I talked myself out of it. I said, I've got so many projects. I don't need to be getting more projects. I need to finish the ones I've got. And now I'm regretting it. I wish I'd have gotten it. We just need to make another trip down there. And there was a necklace that I have been looking for, I don't know, 6 to 8 years. I had one and it broke. And so I had been trying to find another one to replace it forever. And it was just a simple beaded navy blue necklace with little gold balls, kind of like this one has on it, in between the blue beads. And we have looked everywhere and just finally about gave up on it. I even had family members looking. Anytime you go in a store, you know, look to see if they have this in this length. I have a short one, but I needed a long one just to go with certain outfits, and nothing expensive. It's just a simple little necklace. And in the same store that I found this, I just happened to glance over at a booth. I was about ready to go and glanced over and saw it hanging there. $10. So I grabbed it. So that was another good find. I do too. Okay, the Southern Daisy, tell me your name. I can't remember your name. I'm terrible. There's so many of us. But I loved it too. I just had to snatch it up. It's the only one they had. If they'd had more, I would have bought it. Typically, I would only want to pay like $6 or $7 for it so that I can easily, a little bit easier get my money back out of it, but I just loved it. I just had to have it. But the coffee pots, they were all in cobalt blue. They would have been really pretty with snowmen on them. All right, let's see if we can get away with just one more coat. We may have to put 2 on there, but just imagine what it would have been if we hadn't put that gray on there. So have any of you ever gone to the silos in Waco? Man, they had added all the little shops, and we hadn't been since they added the bakery. They were just about to start it when the last time we had gone, and first time they did not have the church there last time we were there. Okay, I'm going to draw it and do one more coat of white, and then I think that's going to be plenty. I'm okay if it shows through a little bit. Oh, Gina, of course. I'm sorry. Miss Gina. Gina and I sat together at a paint party about a year ago. We were the calm, I guess oldie but goodie is what I was at table. We had the nicest visit. I'll be honest with y'all, as many paint parties as I have taught, as many public things that I've been up in front of and spoken, I get so nervous when I'm a participant at a paint party. I try so hard not to compare myself to everybody else because I never think I can paint like all the others do, and sometimes I'll ask myself, what are you doing here? You can't paint in the league with all these women. And then I remember, that's not what it's about, Practice what you preach. But I do get a little nervous, but I'm always so glad that I went after I go. It's just so much fun. Even if it's not a upbeat and everything event, where there's a lot of music and everything. It's just so nice to be with other painters that know what you do and why you love it so much and love it like you do. It's just always so much fun, and to learn about others. Okay, we're starting to get, I think this coat's gonna do it. And y'all, I'm just freehanding this tonight. I don't have a pattern or anything. Again, I didn't even know that I was going to get to go live tonight. And at the last minute, you guys told me what I would be painting. So I just said, we're just going to freehand it and see how it turns out. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to do on that. So I'm just going to kind of make up what we do with the face as I go. And let's go ahead and dry this a little bit. I'm going to close my blinds because it is dark outside already. 2 weeks ago, it would have still been daylight, but I don't want people looking in as they drive by or walk by. Me too. I've said so many times, my favorite thing about paint parties is when you go, or paint classes, when you go, everybody's got the same thing, same pattern, same colors, same brushes, same instructions, but yet everybody's turns out a little different. They've all got different painting styles and different ideas, and it just amazes me. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and shade him in, I'm going to use this Anita's Heavy Fog, Heavy Blue Fog, I think is what it's called. No, just heavy Fog. So it's just kind of a light blue. I'm going to grab a drink. Okay, has anybody guessed what is missing tonight in my live? That was the question at the beginning. I've got something that's missing in the live tonight, and we'll see if anybody can guess what it is. Okay, let me get a shader here. I'm going to get a clean angle brush, and again, this is just a 1/4 inch. And I don't want to put a lot of water on it, so don't want to reactivate that paint on this metal, but let's see how it shades. Not bad. Get a little more water in it. Oh, I guess somebody did, you had Mr. Pam and a question mark, that's what was missing. I just now got that. He is missing, but that's not what I was talking about. Good guess. Okay, I'm a little slow. Okay, I'm watering that down a little bit more. Okay, see that icy blue? And that water will dry in just a moment. Sheila says she's so far behind because of your medical issues. Oh, I know. It's so hard, you know. We don't have time, especially this time of the year, for that kind of stuff, do we? And yet it seems to just creep in when we're least expecting it. I was going to take this handle off, but it's curled on the ends, and I would have to get pliers and uncurl it to get them out. And so I thought, well, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And I'm just dipping the corner of my brush in it, and then I'm just kind of blending it a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put a little more up top. It's already pretty dry, so I just added a little more water. Okay, so there's our shading, and it probably doesn't show up quite as much on camera as it does for me. And I apologize for the noise. I almost changed my mind about painting this live because of the noise. I thought, oh, that's going to drive them crazy. Just adding a little more, walking it out a little bit. Okay, good enough. Now this already had some little paint over here. I tried to get it off with alcohol, but it wouldn't come off. It looks like where they splattered, they might have rubbed their hand in it or something. So that's just going to stay there. We might put a snowflake over it. We'll see. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put my nose on next. And I'm going to use spiced pumpkin. I'm going to switch to a round brush just to kind of get it placed on there. And then that'll kind of tell me where I want the eyes to go. Now, let me show you what you could do. Let me grab it right quick. I didn't bring it. You could use a pencil. If I've got some right here. May not have any. Well, I thought it was right there, but it's not. I thought I had some colored chalk over here, but I don't. All I've got is white. Whoa, cement floor. Versus the carpet that I'm used to. I just went sliding and couldn't stop. All right, y'all, I'm sleep deprived. You're gonna have to ignore me tonight. I do not drink alcohol, I promise. I'm not a drinker at all. But kind of get giddy when I haven't had enough sleep. Anyway, you could take just some colored chalk if you're not sure where you're going to place it, place the nose. I like to kind of put it in the center of where my eyes are going to be. So I'm just kind of marking there where it's wet. I like to have some humps. And we'll go off to the side there. I may have to go over that tip in white because of this black surface. Okay, so that was with the round brush. I just kind of filled it in. I mean, just outlined it. Let me get a smaller angle brush. See if this one's small enough. And we'll just fill that in. Oh man, instantly it looks like a snowman now. It doesn't look like a moon anymore. Add that nose on there, and that is a dead giveaway, isn't it? The hotel that we stayed in Waco, like I said, was right across the street from the silos, but it was a fancy, fancy hotel. I can't even think of the name of it right now. But we had earned points through, oh, I forgot how we even earned the points. So it was a free stay for us. It was fancy, fancy, but it was, a lot of things weren't practical. I mean, there were like 2 plugs in the whole room. So it was beautiful, fancy, but not real convenient. It was very comfortable. Okay, so Sheila was in Waco 3 summers ago. My son and daughter were there, and we spent the day in the silo area and had so much fun. I haven't been to the Magnolia restaurant yet. Every time we go, it's so backed up. The lines are so long that we decide not to. I know, the old church building, oh, the wood and everything in it is just gorgeous. So pretty. I'm not going to worry about the tip of his nose right now because I'm probably going to, well, I guess I could go ahead and put some white on it and then, because it's not going to cover really well with just the orange. Orange is kind of like yellow. Let's see if this helps. See if that helps a little bit. You can also put tan. Okay, that helped a lot. Now it's showing up. Now look, I've got a brush in each hand and the dryer in the other. That's either showing you're professional or wacko. I'm not sure which. I'm gonna have to quit talking and paint or we're gonna be on here forever. But I just get to missing y'all. I still don't have a door hanger on my door. But I am taking a class this next week. It's an online course, and it's painting the Pumpkin Palooza, and we're painting a pumpkin door hanger, a scarecrow door hanger. So he's going to go on my door. Okay, let's do a little bit of shading. Well, before we do shading though, let's do some highlight in the center of that nose. Okay, so there's what we've got. Let's do some tangerine. This is Crafter's Collection from Hobby Lobby, but Deco Art carries it. I believe they carry tangerine also. So just a little dab, not gonna take much. Gonna get my makeup highlighter or makeup brush. It's a Wet n Wild from Dollar Tree. And it's got just real soft but yet stiff bristles. Just perfect for dry brushing. And I just get it off on my hand until it's not really cool anymore. And then that's the way you know it's just about right. And so we're just going to go right down the center. Now on this middle, I guess you have to be kind of careful because you don't want it scratching it off. I don't know that it would, but it's not sealed yet, so I want to be careful. Okay, so now we've got a highlight. And I'm just going to drop that in the water. Now that brush was dry. I did not have any moisture in it at all. Okay, now let's take some burnt orange. So here's our nose, and then here's what we're going to shade with. Burnt orange. You could also use brown. Oops, okay, let me turn it around here. I guess I could have taped this handle so it would quit coming up and down. Let's see if we can do that. Let me put some tape on it. See if that will help any. I want it just stuck right there in the middle. This may or may not work. We'll see. It might help a little bit. Okay, so we're going to get a little bit of moisture on the nose. And then everywhere there's a hump, we're going to shade kind of down into the carrot. And again, I'm just getting that right on the tip of my brush and just kind of blending it a little bit. And let's see if it's dark enough. Yes. Okay, you see how I came down into that nose, everywhere there was a hump, I kind of went up over it and then down into the center of the nose. It really does make it pop, Patricia. It does. Okay, we're going to do the same thing to the bottom and to the back of the nose. Get a little more water. Okay, I still had some orange in my brush, so let me get that washed out so I can put some moisture on there. Just twisting it around in my fingers. All the way out to the tip. Actually going to add a little bit of brown to the bottom. A little bit of that burnt umber. Not sure what I got on my brush there. All right, let me go just a little darker right here. Okay, and I'm going to put a little more of that burnt orange right up here up top. Now that that's dry, I'm going to darken it a little bit. Okay, look what a pretty nose that made. Okay, let's get some eyes on there so he can see. And I'm just going to draw the eyes on. I probably had an eye pattern somewhere that I could use, but you know what? We're just gonna go for it. So let's put one right here. And one right here. Now even that would make a cute face with just the eyes closed and eyelashes. But y'all know me. Can't stop there. So I'm going to go up here and just make an upside down U. I'm going to start right here, almost to the end of that cheekbone. Same thing over here. Round that one out a little better. Now remember what I told you you can do to get your eyes even. You can draw an eye and then trace it with tracing paper and then flip it over and put it on with carbon paper using that same pattern, and then you'll have them same size. Whoops, sorry. Okay, now normally we would have to paint this white inside here, but it's already white because it's a snowman. So we're going to go, we can have him looking up, or we can just have him looking at us. So we're just going to have him looking at us. So I'm starting at the top in the middle, coming down and around. And there's our centers. And then we'll do some eyelashes and we'll do a mouth. We can go ahead and draw a mouth. Let's do this one let's do it like this. Now, before I do anything else, I want to dry brush, get another brush, another makeup brush, and let's put some pink for his cheeks. So we're going to dry brush. So this is Poodle Skirt, bubblegum pink. So I'm going to work it down into that brush. And then just work it around on my hand till it's not cool anymore. Not cool to the touch. Now part of that cheek is underneath the nose, so it'll be just a half circle. Okay, I'm going to take my liner brush and go ahead and do the mouth. I'm trying to decide if I want an open mouth or a closed mouth. Let's see here. We're going to do an open mouth. Okay, so we need some black. I'm going to go ahead and do the mouth so it can be drying while we're working on the eyes. Got my brush a little moist. Liner brush. Make sure everything's dry so I'm not rubbing my hand in something. Okay, we're good. Sorry, y'all, that's my mom. And I know she's okay because I just talked to her not too long ago. I have my ringer off, but she comes through because of her strokes. I have it fixed to where she'll come through no matter what. So I'll call her when we get done. Okay, and let's just fill it in. Let's just take our round and fill it in. I jumped when it rang. I don't know about y'all. Hi, Connie. Just doing a simple, sweet little snowman tonight. I haven't painted on one of these. I don't even know. There's probably a name for this. Usually they're in the cobalt blue, but this one's black. So I've painted on metal before, but not with the where it's splattered. A little bit of pencil mark there, and after it's dry, I will clean that up. Erase it. Okay, let's go ahead and dry that so I don't smear it. I saw so many things at this antique shop where I got this that I wanted to get, and I was trying to be good because, like I said, I've got so many unfinished projects that I've got to get done in less than 2 months if I want to do the craft show, and I do. So I kept saying, don't buy more when you've still got some at home that need to be done. So I was a good girl. I only bought 2 things to paint. Okay, now let's work on these eyes. And I'm going to switch to my small liner brush, my 010, I believe. Yeah, 10-0. A little bitty. Just kind of get it outlined and then we'll fill it in. Now before, I used to paint the eye. I would do the center like this and then try to fill in with white around it there. And I thought, just paint the whole thing white and then fill it in. Makes it so much easier than trying to paint those little white triangles. Okay, let me get this other brush here. Okay, and we'll do the same thing on the other one. Let's see if I can turn it upside down for you. Keeping a little bit of moisture in my brush, more than I normally would, so that it will glide with this liner. I'm going to go ahead and line the line underneath. And then we'll fill it in. And you could also do the pupil blue. I will do different eyes when I'm just painting, not live, but I tend to do the ones that are easiest for me when I'm going live, just for time's sake. Because I'm so used to them that I could kind of do them with my eyes closed. Okay, let's line this one. Okay, look at the difference in the eyes so far. I'm starting where the pupil's black, so I start my brush in there just so I can easily get it going. Okay, let's give them some eyelashes. First we need to give eyebrows. And let me dry that so I don't mess those up when we're doing our eyelashes. So I go one large, one small, one large, one small, and sometimes I'll do some in the middle in between those. So let's see if I can get you where you can see here. Do long, short, long, short. And then some little ones in between. And I'll do one up, one down, and one in the center. Same thing over here, just going to the left. So long, short, long, short, long, short, long. One up, one down, and one in the center. Okay, let's put, let's go ahead and put a little bit of blue around the eye, the inside of the eye. And I'm just using that heavy fog. Okay. And now let's do a snowflake. Not snowflake. Do the T, not T-Rex, but TX. You could just put dots here and that would work just fine, but we're going to make a T, a tall T. Very little pressure. And then an X right down the center. Shorter X, tall T and shorter X. So think of T-Rex, but it's not a T-Rex, it's TX. Okay, and then we're going to put a dot right in the center. And we'll put a tongue here. Here's what we've got so far. But let's put him some pine needles up here. Y'all have seen me do a tongue plenty of times. Pencil mark off there. All right, let's do some pine needles. So we need our burnt umber or any kind of dark brown. And I'm going to use my long liner brush. Just going to load it with a little bit of water in it. Twirl it in there. And I don't want to get my hand in those dots that I just did those eyes with. So let's do let me turn it around. I think I can do this upside down. So we're going to put a branch out here. And some branches coming off of those. And let's put one going off to the left. Okay, let's try that. Then we're going to move to a dark green. We're going to use black forest green. Now you can use Hauser dark green, pine green. I like to start my base needles with a darker green and then come in with lighter green. And I'm going to switch back to my small little liner brush, that little tiny one. And just start what I call just flicking out little pine needles. And I start with the end and go out with one on the end. You don't want to go down into his eye. And just have them kind of crisscrossing each other. Everywhere there's a branch sticking out. So here's another one. I'm going to go to the end. And then I'm just going to crisscross right over those that I just did on that other branch. I'm not super good at painting upside down, y'all, so give me some grace. Thanks, Jamie. If you will practice on your eyes, and like I said, get one drawn, and these two eyes are not exactly the same size. What I normally do if I'm doing eyes, I'm not in a hurry, and taking my time, I will draw one eye, whichever side I want. I will trace it with tracing paper so I can see through it. And then I will flip it over and put carbon paper under it and trace it onto the other side. That way you've got exactly the same size eyes. And they look symmetrical, I guess you would say. Okay, look how quick we've got a pine branch there. Okay, so same thing here. You want to just keep loading. And I always go down with them first and then kind of crisscross back. Crisscross applesauce, isn't that how that saying goes? Come up into the branch and put some at the beginning of the branch where you started. Now there's another little branch going out here. So I'm crisscrossing over the other ones that I just did. Super, super easy to do pine needles. Something I have not learned how to do, and I really, really want to, are pine cones. I've never painted a pine cone. I think I tried one time, but I didn't know what I was doing. I had not really looked at anything or practiced or watched anybody paint one, so I would know what I was doing, or at least know what I was attempting. Okay, I'm going right up into that black. Thickening them up a little bit. You want more of your base color on these because we're going to come back in that lighter green. Like it's new needles. Okay. Now I'm going to go with the Hauser light green and just go over the top of that, but not with near as many needles. You don't want to cover, you want the dark to show underneath it. You could even go with even a lighter green, like an apple green or something like that. Okay, so we're going to start back over here. You want to make sure it's dry. So I'm going to start over here and just here and there put in some of this light, which may not even be showing for you on camera, but it definitely gives it another layer. Looks like some new growth, new foliage. Okay, now we gotta have some berries. So let's take our red. This is Tuscan red. And let's do some little berries. We could just use the tip of one of our big brushes. Let's see if I've got a big one here. Okay, here's one of these big base coat brushes that I use. It's got a big tip on it. So let's just use it. So I'm just dipping into that red paint. And I'm going to go 1, dip again, 2, they're touching, and 3. We're going to dry those, and we'll do a little bit of shading on those. I'm just going to kind of set them and then let them dry a minute. And we'll go ahead and put a tongue. We've got time. We'll go ahead and put a tongue down here in this mouth. So let's use some of our, we've got so much white here. Let's just use it. And I just do a little M. I'm going to paint it white first. I'm leaving a little bit of that black showing at the bottom. That way we'll just have to do a couple of coats of the red. Okay, with that Tuscan red, I'll do this upside down. Oops, a little too much paint on there. Okay, let's dry that and put one more coat. Those dots are big dots, so it's going to take them just a little bit to dry. Okay, and let's put a little highlight on that tongue. And we've almost got us a snowman. And to look at it out of the light. So I'm just doing a couple little white marks there. That'd be cute. And then on the other side, I'm going to put a sunflower. I may wait and paint that live. I'm not sure because I've got another sunflower thing to do over there. But let's do, looks like snow already because it's speckled. But let's go ahead and do a couple of snowflakes while those dots are drying. Too much water. Okay, so remember T. And then an X down the center. You can also just write something up there, let it snow or something like that. I'm not going to put it on the ends because we'll have something on the other side. So TX. TX. Right there. You could even do a scarf here. I may do that, so I'll leave that until I decide on that. But now on our snowflakes, we need to do dots on those, just like we did on the eye, but we're going to put them on each spot, each place that there is a, I'm going to pour some fresh white out, a little line. We're going to put a dot on the end of each line. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom so that I'm not running my hand across these. So we're going to put one in the center, and then one at each end of the line. Okay, so in the middle. I want it kind of dripping off the end of my daughter. So I'm reloading about every other one. And I'll show you the difference with and without the dots. Hey, Roxy. Oh, just getting here. Hi, Teresa, Kelly, Jamie. I'm sorry, I kind of got behind on my comments. Mom is always a call that comes through. Yes. Yeah. Okay, Roxy, I asked a question at the beginning of the video, of the live. I have something missing in tonight's tutorial. In my live tonight, I have something missing. Trying to see if anybody can guess what it is. See if you can guess what's missing in my live tonight. Okay, so here are snowflakes without the dots. Here's snowflakes with the dots. either one is correct. I think the dots add a lot. Thank you, Sheila. So we're going to go ahead and do dots on all of them right quick. And it's so fast, it doesn't take long. You just have to remember that these dots take longer to dry, and you don't want to try to completely dry them with the hair dryer or it will make them collapse. I always say, like a cake that you take out of the oven too soon, they just collapse in the middle if you get them too hot. We're going to put some snow on that nose right quick too. Mr. Pam and I are going to try to have our garage sale in 2 weeks. So we've got to start pulling things out of the storage unit that we've got rented and getting it priced and ready. Let me turn it around this way. If you just joined us, it's going to have a sunflower on the other side of it. This will be a tubie. And if you have not already, I think most of you have, but if you've not hit that follow button and you enjoyed watching this, I would really appreciate it if you would hit that follow, and if you would put it out on your pages so that, number one, I can get some new faces on here too, but so that I can learn of some new people and maybe follow their pages. Okay, I'm going to take just an old scruffy brush that I've got here, and I'm going to put a little bit of snow on that nose. So we'll put some, I gotta be careful, these dots are all wet. I'm terrible about remembering. So I'm just pouncing some snow on there. All right, what do you think? Does he need anything else? Oh, yes, he does. I want to put some snow on, a little bit of snow on the branches. So I'm just going to take my round brush. Seems like just not much of a detail, but it is a detail, and it does. And I do still need to, I'm going to shade the bottoms of these berries in either black or a dark burgundy, and then put a little bit of highlight on the top, but they're not quite dry enough. But I'm just going to pounce a little bit of snow on the brown in some of these branches. And it may not show up for you on camera, but it does show up here. Okay, we'll see. Need some right there. All right, let's see if I can get that close enough for you to see. Let's put some right down there. And I just ran my hand in that dot. So let me fill it back in. There we go. our blue. And just right behind that nose, let's put a little bit of that blue. Like he's sticking. Let's see if I can do this without getting on these dots. So it kind of looks like it's sticking in there. Sticking in the snow. Okay, and we can do a little bit of shading down here under the mouth. Okay, and I don't think I'm even going to do a sweater, scarf or anything. I think we're just going to leave him just like that. And then we'll do the sunflower on the back. I'll try to either save it for next week or we'll do something else with sunflowers on it. Let me put the dot back that I messed up on that side. So easy to do. Okay, let me pull you up here. Pull me back like this. I've got dots that are going to run if I'm not careful. Okay, what do you think? So for like with the sunflower, you could put all kinds of things in here. Like I said, the washcloths rolled up or flowers. For this, you could put pine branches with berries, anything like that, artificial, or even some real ones, I guess, if you wanted to. But it does sit up. It sits, or you could hang it, either one. So I think it was cute. I think it was a good buy. Thanks, Miss Roxy. Hi, Kathy. So, did anybody figure out what is missing in my live tonight? So let me hold this up a little bit better. What is missing in my live? What do you think? This is the little pumpkin, too, that we did the other day, just with my granddaughter and her boyfriend. They wanted to know how to do a pumpkin, so I did this one, and they kind of followed along and did one of their own. But this is just, I think from Hobby Lobby. Maybe from Dollar Tree. I don't know. I think from Hobby Lobby. Anyway, so we still doing pumpkins, too. It's kind of the time of year where it's kind of mixed, kind of in between things. Okay, but anybody know what's missing? All right, I'm going to tell you. Roxy, this is for you. I'm always teasing her about this. I don't know why. But anyway, I have a new quiet. Now it's this light here. Ooh, it's too bright. You might not can see it. But I have a new digital clock. Now it's not really, the numbers aren't showing up for you. But it's quiet. You can't hear the loud ticking anymore. And I know it didn't bother y'all, but it bothered me. It was so loud, it made me sleepy. And I could always hear it. But I got a quiet clock, y'all. Don't know what I'm going to do with the other one, the noisy one. So nobody guessed it. Oh, you did guess it. Okay, well, I didn't see it in time. It just now came through. that I just saw it. It just popped up. But you're right. Yes, I have a quiet clock. I ought to send you that noisy clock. I think Mr. Pam's going to use it out in the garage in his workshop. All right, ladies. So there you go. I would appreciate it if you would hit that follow button and then go to the three little, or on the follow, you should see a little bell, or you can go up to the three dots and you'll see a little bell for notifications. If you want to be notified by Facebook, I don't have any text messaging or anything like that, but when I'm going live, it will text you as soon as I go live. Not text you, it will just notify you that I'm going live, so be sure and hit that. Thanks for all the hearts, I appreciate it. And I have fun painting this, and I will say that I like the feel of it. It covered much better than what I thought it would, and it's not scratching off. You know, I was afraid that it might really peel off, but it's not. This circle that I've done back here, I've been kind of playing with it, and after I seal it, I think it'll be just fine. So I want you to be on the lookout for different surfaces and things that you can do, and just try them. If it doesn't sell in the craft show, I'll stick it up here somewhere, but I think it'll go. All right, love you all. I thank you so very much for watching me tonight, hanging out with me. I'm gonna go get Mr. Pam some supper ready, so he should be home any minute now. And I'm not sure when I'll go live next week, but I will, and might do the paddleboard next week if we don't do this. I think I'm going to do a beehive and some sunflowers on it. I haven't decided completely yet, but we'll see. All right, thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Bye, y'all. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.